Dola.
Here.
Councilman O'Connor,
Present.
Councilman Stat,
Here.
Councilman Gronwell,
Here.
Councilwoman Crowley.
Present.
Salute to the flag led by Linda.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
And to the republic for which it stands,
Stands
one nation,
one nation
God,
under God, indivisible.
and justice for all.
Thank you, Linda. Motion to approve the April 10th minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
Those in favor? Aye. You need a second. I'll second. Go. Terry second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It carries. Motion to recess as a Board of Health. I'll move that. I'll second it. Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Bill Grove, you with us?
I'm here.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah.
We've reviewed your thorough information once again, and thank you for that. Any questions or concerns from the board? What I really like is the Encore, utilizing that data is excellent. Real good way to go. That's the Ontario County Online portal.
So I had a question for Bill. And you know, it's on the heels of the last septic that we looked at. The right side is 46.6 foot. And so my question is, was there also an evaluation done of how close to the well for the adjoining property we are?
I don't think there was anything within 100 feet of that, but let me see if I can find that. There wasn't any close neighbors. I did look at the one across the street, and that was far enough away.
Okay. On Encore, it appears to be to the north. I think the number is 5616.
Okay. Yeah, from our, let me find the right tool. Bear with me for a second. From the edge where the leach line will be. I don't know exactly where their well is, but I would doubt it's downhill of the house. And
Gotta
the
be-
house is at 185 feet.
I would think there will be above 1150.
Right. Yeah, so that it's at least 150 feet there. The only place that their septic could be would be in the lawn area, at least from looking at the aerial, it looks like the only place their septic would be on the downhill side of their house, the road side, which would probably put their well on the uphill side, or it'd be the west side of their house. So it'd be somewhere around 190 feet. The back side of their house is 215. So I don't think it's any, certainly not within 100 feet of the system, and not downgrade or directly downgrade.
Thank you.
Good question.
And this proposed system is basically replacing about 20 feet of perforated pipe leach line that they've had for a long time. So it's a pretty significant upgrade for them to have an actual system that meets the all the state's requirements. You know, we're again lacking the town's 80 feet from the property line, both at the right of way and the north property line.
Other questions? Concerns? I move to approve. I'll second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, that carries. Motion to resume town board meeting. I'll move that. Second.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Grove.
Yep. Have a good night.
You do the same.
In the second,
I did. Terry second.
Thank you. Thank you, Terry.
Okay, I wanted to set a public hearing for our next board meeting for proposed law number 2, local law authorizing town board and other public bodies of our town to use video conferencing technology to participate in public meetings.
That we already could.
No, not
No,
anymore.
It expired. The COVID coverage expired.
I thought she extended it though again.
Oh,
No.
we did like 3 times.
Okay.
New York State extended it. And is this gonna apply to all board meetings?
Correct. ZBA, planning board. Yep,
Great.
yep. That's the intent. And so we'll have a public hearing next month for that. We can certainly look at it further.
Is this still the, you have to have a quorum present?
Yes,
For asking.
Physically present, right?
yes. You still have to have a physical presence of a quorum,
Mhm.
but it allows if one of the board members are out of town that they can still, I mean, they can still Zoom in and talk. They just wouldn't be able to vote unless we do this.
Right.
But that's the same as it was before. Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, Linda Morehouse,
Yes,
did you want to speak at all?
as a matter of fact, yes, I had 2 questions
Oh,
that I would like.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Are we done with this resolution?
Yes.
Okay, so I've got a motion and I need a motion and a second and an approval for the resolution.
I'll move it.
I'll second it.
Those in favor?
I,
All right.
Thank you. Sorry, Linda.
Well, Linda, I was mostly talking about that you were had stepped down as chair and Ed Bott is now chair. And that's,
Correct.
and then if you had something to add to that is what I was, and if you have something else.
Well, okay, yes, we can address that, but I
Sure.
also have 2 other items that I would like discussed.
Oh, sure.
Yes, as the CBA, we decided that it was time for me to step down, and Ed Bott has graciously said that he would take it. Now, because we both have health concerns, we're going to be having to switch back and forth several times. He's going to have a hip surgery in June, so I will be taking his place at that time, but we'll be covering whatever we need to have covered.
Okay,
Secondly, I have questions regarding the property up on Ross Road where the trailer is. There's been, Joe has done a lot of homework on that. I live up there, however, I don't see it all the time because I'm a half mile back in the woods and it's not a problem. However, I have a daughter who lives just south of there, and the Cooter family is family to us also, and it concerns me, that place, the conditions it's in. Thirdly, I'm interested in finding out, first of all, why the town of Canadice has not become associated with the fire department so that we could have a commissioner on the board. We're
Fire
losing a
district,
commissioner.
fire district.
Excuse me,
Fire district.
Sorry, the district, I get those two. We are losing a commissioner on the board now because he's moving out of Richmond. Fortunately, he's moving into Canada. But I think that, I know this has been talked about for years and years, and I think it's time that it's looked into a little bit more, and I think that we should have a voice on that board. That's all I have.
if you want to submit anything to that effect in writing, that'd be wonderful.
Excuse me,
If you'd like to submit something to that effect in writing, that'd be great. Thank you.
you want it tonight?
No, we're good.
Okay,
We,
I'll be happy to.
we'd love to be swift and nimble. I think a few weeks will be fine. Thank you. Thank you. Number 2 was Caitlin Makowski and I attended the Richmond Town Board meeting. There was a clean energy community update, which was excellent. And comprehensive plan overview was presented with Ontario County. So that was very informative. And they do have a couple maps if you want to look at it, but if you go to the Ontario County website, lots of information is available to you. And lots of communication, some hard copies, a bunch of emails. And on the addendum, I also had some extra ones, and that one of them was the DMV adjusting hours, and that's important that people know so they don't drive all the way to Canandaigua and find out they're not open. And also when they're doing certain tasks. There is a mattress event. If you see mattresses lying around town, these mattresses can be recycled. And
For
that's a big-
free.
For free.
Correct. So that information is also available on the Ontario County website. We're gonna now go into reports, town clerk.
Paying to the supervisor for the general fund, $1,568.05. To the supervisor for water billing, $17,360.54. DEC for decals, $57.85. Animal Population Control Fund, $5 for a total disbursement of $18,928.59. No, that's your, sorry, $18,991.44. That was your check I was reading off, Christopher, sorry. And then I did attend the town clerk's conference in Syracuse. There were a lot of updates to the notary position that were passed by the state legislature. There were also classes on social media. There have been some issues in some of the other towns, including Canandaigua, with people coming in and filming offices, and also posting some really nasty stuff on their Facebook pages. I also settled with the county treasurer, a total of $505,317.62 was paid to the treasurer at closing. And I turned over sorry, my sheet was right here. I turned over 37 properties that were unpaid at the time, which is about average. I'm also going to be meeting with the IT person at the treasurer's office and someone from the new software program. One other town clerk will probably be in attendance just to go over some of the things that they still have not been able to meet our needs for during tax collection. We had a bit of a challenge this year with the new software. So that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Historian report, I am meeting
No,
with.
it's a financial report.
Yeah, we have to.
Oh,
accept
yes,
that.
I forgot. I'm so ready to go. I'll second that. Those in favor?
Aye.
We accept. Thank you. I'm meeting with the historians tomorrow, and that's my report for the historian. CEO, Joe.
Issued 14 permits, only issued one short-term rental. We had two come in, but we're actually starting to ramp up with the short-term rentals because of, I think it's because of the golf tournament that's coming in. I've heard from around town that hotel rooms are becoming extremely expensive, so
Oh, Monroe County is booked.
yeah,
It's
so
booked.
people are coming around the smaller lakes and trying to, renting properties from people that wouldn't necessarily be renting.
Absolutely.
So I've had some panic permit, the last 2 days, people come out to try to get permits, like just send them in and pay, but I have to explain to them it's just that process. That seems to be doing a little better, the short-term rentals. I'm hoping to get it's been in line with the code change for consequences for not having the short-term rental permits. So I can force it a little bit more.
Teeth.
Yeah. We had 6 renewals. 5 violations. And I believe that's it. Do you have any questions about any of that?
So for the short-term rentals, what are we up to total? Is it, am I keeping track? Is it 17 or 18 so far, or are
we're
there
actually-
more
we're
than
at
that?
19 that are issued
Okay,
now because of the 2, but I still have 15 on my desk. I have successfully, cashed all the checks. So I'm slowly starting to get emails from people to try to set up dates and times to do the inspections.
and when does the permit period start?
It starts after it's issued. So the applications,
Okay.
you have the fees, so people are asking about the fees too.
Right,
Thank you. Anything else? It's like we're good. And I like the total, it's great. Planning board, Ted Mayhew.
Yeah, the planning board met on April 24th. We have the draft minutes in front of you. We had a couple of old business things to finish up. Read about them, but basically the subdivision for Karen Sullivan and their property hold has been removed before they can proceed with their subdivision. Where they are is they're needing to get a final survey map, and then they'll come back to planning board for final approval once that's done. And as well, the site plan application for Brian and Margie Shaw, 6655 Canada Lake Road. They submitted their final site plan map, which had been updated based on the previous meeting where there were some different things needed to be shown on the map. Map was submitted, approved, and so that application is now complete, final approval, and they can go ahead and apply for the building permits. That's all we have.
Thank you. Questions? Okay, ZBA, we got 2 reports. I emailed them. And the last meeting was a short one. And if you have anything to add,
No, we have a meeting Wednesday night, but nothing,
hopefully I'm gone by the time you get here.
okay.
That's my plan. Thank you. Highway, Jeremy.
Okay, so we had a fairly significant rain, April. Caused a lot of leaf debris and sticks to wash into the ditches, so we spent a good week or so running around town, split up into 2 teams. 2 guys went over the west side, 2 guys to the east side, cleaning basically leaf dams out of the ditches and opening up some driveway pipes and some cross pipes. Took advantage of some drier weather, did some ditching up on Canada's Hill Road here. It basically started at the top of the hill and worked our way south. Replaced pretty much every metal driveway pipe that we came to along the way. We added a new driveway pipe over on Lawrence Hill Road for a resident that paid for it. Been taking advantage of the days where it is raining to get around town with the broom tractor and do our winter cleanup. It has actually been pretty easy this year. There hasn't been a lot of sand residue left on the roads. But we do try and do that when it's wet out, just to make it safer and keep down on the dust. So Tim Mariska is back for the summer to get back in the mowing tractor, so He's been around town with the brush head. Trimming back encroaching shrubs and whatnot. And he's also been around fixing what little damage that we might have caused during the winter time with the wings on the shoulder and from where we dump our plows. And busy hauling stone still. And I brought in the last 250 tons that I needed to meet my 70% requirement for my salt. From the OGS contract. Also, we're getting an early start on some capital improvement projects this year. Midland Asphalt's got a schedule next week. They're gonna bring their grinder in and we're gonna do FTR on Old Westlake Road North. And that will be 2 shots of oil and stone, probably 3 weeks after that. And service and equipment, I had to go through the rubber tire excavator. Some new batteries, change of fluids. We've also done this, the tracked excavator. The widener and the roller. Snowplow equipment is mostly off. At this point, I think it's safe to finish the job when we get a rain day, when we have some shop time. Yeah. We've done the generator yearly maintenance and also on the water treatment system that we have. And then I had to have Martin's come repair one of the overhead doors, one of the cables rotted out at the bottom. And they got cockeyed in there, so you couldn't even open or close it. So we had our resident Evan Earl, who is in the BOCES program down at in Mount Morris through Whale and Cohocton. He reached out and wanted to come back for another 2 weeks and do an internship with us again. So we're more glad to have him come and help. He got to experience some different things that he did when he was here in the fall. And he is definitely hopeful to get into the highway department here at some point. In the meantime, I've tried to, I know Canandaigua was looking, the county's looking, there's several other towns that are looking for help, so I kind of try to steer him in that direction, so he could gain a little experience, and when the time comes, he's got his resume sitting on my desk, and hopefully we'll have a place for him, because he's a good worker and he's got a good head on his shoulders. One other thing to add, now that the state budget is over, they have approved $60 million extra in the CHIPS funding this year. Which I got my letter on Monday, and we will be receiving almost an extra $16,000. So every little bit counts. And that's all I got.
Excellent. I have a question. Are we logging what skills and tasks the gentleman did?
Yep.
Our intern? Good.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah,
That'll be a nice model for the next guy we get, trying to duplicate that whenever you can.
yeah, I have a timesheet that he was using just like the other guys.
Oh,
He comes
great.
in, he punch in,
Oh, great.
punch out, write down what he did for the day.
I'd love a copy of that. That'd be great.
Right.
It's a nice model. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you.
Are we pretty full with our salt barn then to begin next year?
Not where we were at the end of the last winter. We definitely used more material this year than we did last year. Given there wasn't that much snow, there was a lot of ice. We're fairly close, but I'd say there's probably in the mixed building, there's probably 300-400 tons. And in the salt buildings, there's probably 800-900 tons in there, so I mean, we still have a decent amount to get us into next year. And just for a heads up, we come September, when we do the budget, there's gonna have to be some changes in that, ice control, line item. The mag chloride that we use went up 50 cents a gallon. The salt went up, or the sand went up $2 a ton. The salt went up almost $2.50 a ton, so. You know, it's like everything else, prices is going up, and the hard part is the salt. Like I had to submit my requirements here by May 15th. Without knowing what the price is gonna be, and even come September budget time. You're not even certain of what the price is actually gonna be, so.
Understood. Now, can you piggyback off Livingston County if it's cheaper, or once you sign on with the state, you're done?
I don't actually know if Livingston County's is cheaper.
I don't know. I just know they bid
Right.
it themselves.
We could piggyback off of it.
Worth a shot.
Because we pass that resolution every year to be included in their bid.
Yep.
But I think that once I committed to the OGS, I'm stuck with that.
Okay.
That's what we ran into. With the county is trying to write their own bid. To get a cheaper salt price, but the time restraints, it didn't happen this year. Where we had to file.
Okay, well, hopefully we can keep on top of it. Thank you.
But I make a remark, I would like to say that they did a fine job, the highway department did a fine job on the ditching on Kenneth Ice Hill Road. And all winter long, and I think too often they don't get the recognition that they deserve, so. The Morehouses are happy with the job that the highway department does.
Thank you. I'll relay the message to the guys.
Okay.
Always nice to have good news. Thank you. The Illinois Lake Watershed Task Force.
Well, the issue of the day is high lake level. The lake has been 1.5 to 2 feet higher than normal for 5 or 6 weeks since the beginning of April. Dorothy and I have lived on Honey Lake for over 21 years. I have never seen it. I've seen it this high. I have never seen it this high, this long. I've seen it this high. But usually in 2 to 3 weeks, it's back to a semblance of normal. And this was a topic of discussion at the April Richmond Town Board meeting when I was presenting. And Daryl Marshall talked to the Ontario County Sheriff about issuing a no wake order, which he did the following Thursday, that week of the board meetings. And a few days after that, I noticed the bass boats going down the lake at 50 to 70 miles an hour. So I contacted our sheriff. I found him very understanding. And I recommended that he put up no wake signs at the State Boat Launch and at the Sandy Bottom Park Boat Launch, which they did. But just before the board meeting, I was talking to Mark. I was talking to a friend this morning who put their dock in and it's now 2 inches below the lake level. This is not good. So people are not able to put their docks in, or if they do, they're closer under the lake level. Can't put your boat hoist in, can't get out of the canopy. So this is impacting the normal recreational use of the lake. Now, we won't know. I looked at the 2-week weather forecast and there's very little rain. When it's not raining, the lake level goes down about 1.5 inches a day. Historically. 2 things are going on here. Up until the last week, it rained almost every day, not heavy, but it rained constantly. I noticed an article last week that said Lake Ontario was very high. So we've had an unusual amount of rain. 1, 2, there is shale obstructing the outlet channel that the town of Richmond is trying to get a permit to. So it is work in progress. But the sheriff is understanding and helping. So that's my message there.
Okay, so with the shale in the outlet. Have they applied to the DEC?
Yes,
Okay,
more than once. It's not that simple.
understood.
It is not that simple.
Can I mention something about the DEC also? I have a permit for a great wall. From the DEC, and the DEC actually emailed last week saying that. They're gonna potentially put that on hold until the lake levels are down.
Yeah, the DC is aware.
Where's the shale? Is it in the,
It's in the outlet channel.
in the channel, but it's the channel, so it's not coming down from Mill Creek, that,
You know, it's between the Weir and the 28 bridge
Yeah,
and north of the library. Dorothy and I were on a video meeting that the state of New York, Resilient New York Task Force studied Mill Creek and the outlet channel, and we were on there when they made their recommendations. 3 million here, 10 million here, whatever, settle out basin, make the bridge 15 feet wider.
Mhm.
Um,
move the library.
the representative from the Honeywell Lakes, this is important, this is where I was going. The representative from the Honeywell Lake wastewater treatment plant.
Mhm.
Which was built right around 1980, 79, 80, right in
It's in
there.
the wrong spot.
Said on the webinar to
Mhm.
the DEC. Said in 1980, their discharge pipe was how much?
3 feet.
3 feet above the outlet channel. Now it is 3 feet below.
Hmm.
So in 43 years, which is quite a few, they've had 5 or 6 feet of shale buildup by the wastewater treatment plant.
Sure.
Whether you realize it or not, we live in a shale-based system.
Mhm.
You're not going to stop that. You're not going to stop the shale. So the experts have told Dorothy and I that you have to have a maintenance plan. Every 2, 3, 4 years, whatever the period is, you got to go in and clean that out. Because you're not going to stop the shale.
Mhm.
So work in progress. Town of Richmond is on it. DEC is acutely aware. And they're trying to get a permit. Held our quarterly Honeywell Lake Watershed Task Force meeting on April 27th. Normal business, project updates. The one thing I will just key on at a very high level. The DEC did an elm treatment pilot in the lake last November. That will have the maximum effect from mid-July to mid-September. The behavior of the lake from now until mid-July, I do not expect it to change. In other words, I expect it to be like last year, the year before that. But we'll get into the science, but the benefit of the elm treatment will happen in the latter half of the summer. I fully expect to see blue-green algae blooms starting in the middle of June. I fully expect the town of Richmond will have to close the swimming beach in June and early July. The HVA annual roadside trash cleanup day was successful. I don't have any metrics. Other than I know that 75 people showed up at the United Church of Christ for the free breakfast. I don't have, including our supervisor. I know that because I found him on the road, you know, or he found me on the road. Rather, he found me on the road. So it was a success. All right, that's my update.
It's interesting to see that the beer cans have changed that we pick up. Years ago it was all the junky beers. Suddenly IPAs are now appearing in the gullies.
That and White Claw. is quite
Yeah,
popular.
yeah, yeah, but
Yeah.
I always thought. At Bristol Mountain, we don't get the IPAs thrown up a chairlift, we get the cheap beers, but here. We get every beer, which is just, it's
I
very.
never thought about the chair.
Well, I'm looking at demographics, that was just a side, note. Sorry about that. Okay,
Oh my God.
back to reports. Got the assessor report. Everybody get an assessor report?
Yep.
Water district operations, there was an update, I made a copy and passed it around, she sent it today, just so you see what the final looks like. And go ahead.
So you've got a couple of reports,
Yes.
the water reconciliation.
Yep.
That takes a look at what we pumped versus, what we were billed by Monroe County versus what we bill out. It's staying, very, steady, to last year. Behind that is the service report for January, February, and March. There were no stakeouts in January. I noticed that we had one emergency stakeout in March, on Pine Haven. Other than that, it was, business as usual. And then you've got the report for April. The one thing I would report, and I'm sure you've, noticed it. The 21st of April, the water tower got hit by lightning. And so the meter is non-functioning right now. And what the meter does is it watches the daily outflow. And it also watches the chlorine. And when I talked to Dave Rowley about it, he said that we are very consistent and have been with previous year. And so they're doing manual monitoring and then they're, adjusting the chlorine. He also said that once summer starts and the residents are back, that there will be very little flushing that has to happen through the system. So I thought that was good news.
So we got struck. Yeah, pump one's down.
Well, now
Yeah.
we know where it hit. Because
Did you hear it? You had to, yeah,
it was like 3 or 4 in the morning. It was very early, it was very close to us.
and it was scary. Yeah, it was
But it
scary.
very
Yeah,
close to us. So, but we didn't know where it hit.
right, it hit the tank.
Is there a preliminary plan to fix the pump, or are they just gonna?
Yeah, we've ordered the parts.
So
Yes,
we've got parts on order and we also have backup parts on order. And I don't know if Krista's heard back yet. She sent an update last week.
yeah, we put a priority on it.
Great, okay.
And also with that, as part of the roadside cleanup, I'm driving down and I saw a car, and I gotta bring this up because it's important. I saw a white truck, started looking around and I walked in the where all the controls are, the door was wide open and no one was there. I'm walking around, oh, what's going on here? Why is this door open? This is not good. So I walk up to the water tank. Nobody's up there. I walk back down and then I see a guy. I go, yo, he looks at me, he gets in his truck and he drives away. But he did lock the door. They should never, it turned out he was underground. They should never have one person. So the protocols definitely was not done correctly. They have to have 2 people whenever somebody goes underground. And if there's somebody walking around the property, even though they've got an HVA vest on, you might want to say, sir, why are you on the property?
Mhm.
So the protocols need to be changed. Well, I got in the house and I was just thinking Jack Bauer, 24, I could have sabotaged our water system like there was no tomorrow. Anybody could have, and it just scared the bejeebers out of me. So I just thought I'd tell the board about that. So that's been addressed in that protocol. So being implemented. And financial reports.
Can I jack up and do one more thing on the water district? So that the board knows the water quality report for 2022 is done. Eileen, are you putting something in the penny saver?
Yes,
Yeah, I have to. Well, it's in
Okay.
the Penny Sa- I have to put it in the messenger, but it's going in the
Right.
Penny Saver too, and it's paper copies are going to the library. I already checked with the director there, and she's happy to take paper copies again.
And that's being done this month, correct?
Their final one goes live on the 14th.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
So we're waiting for the final one to come out on the 14th.
okay.
Yeah.
Great.
And that's in that document I passed through. Thank you.
Plus, it'll be on the website.
Mhm.
And they also list some websites as well. Very transparent process. Financial reports, supervisor. Pass those around. Questions? Okay, addressed them.
Answer the question.
So are we approving January and February tonight?
It would be nice, yes,
Okay,
in March and April.
I have not seen March and April. I have copies. They were here when I arrived.
Yeah, no, they weren't printed till.
That's fine.
Yep.
That's fine.
Yep.
I am, would like to make a motion to approve January and February,
Okay.
and I would hold on March and April.
Okay. There a second? I'll second that. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Those in favor?
Alright.
Okay, February and January are approved and we're gonna take a harder look at the last 2 months.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, unfinished business, still trying to pursue this FHA wildlife crossing pilot program.
Isn't there a better way to spend money?
I know.
It's one of my pet projects, if you will. So Tom Harvey is working with Public Works and Soil and Water to see if there's some things that make sense. So we just, when there's that kind of money floating around, just like the CHIPS money, how much was the CHIPS?
60 million.
This year we're at 134.
Yeah.
It's extra 15,800.
Yep. So and the thing is, if you don't ask for it, you don't get it.
Mhm.
And I'm from Buffalo and Buffalo is really good at asking for federal money. It's really well known. So that's my story. Sidewalk bid. There were a couple things that weren't addressed. If Kate wants to comment on those couple.
Well, my question
Items
would
that
be
add-
to Jeremy, did we follow up with the contractors?
I did talk with Roy White and in his bid was included the extra concrete in front of the shed
Cool,
and the masonry repair to the entrance over here.
excellent.
So
And
he met all the requirements of the RFP.
cool. And he's good with the project completion date?
He said at this point it would be out into August just because of the way his schedule is going, so. He didn't seem to have a issue with being done by August 31st.
And it was Roy White that did not have the insurance documentation, right, Eileen?
Yes.
I don't know without looking at it right now.
I think so. So he would have to, okay, okay.
Isn't, we might already have his insurance on file anyway, because he
Cool.
does,
Yeah,
Yes.
Joe says yes. Cool. Okay, that settles the open items
Okay.
on the bids. So should we make a recommendation to the board?
I would go with, I would have Roy do it.
I agree. I agree.
It was substantially cheaper.
Almost 20 grand cheaper, yeah.
And we know of his work from previous.
Yeah, he did the state concrete around the flagpole out there.
It was good work.
It was real good work.
As long as it's not
He's well
slippery
known-
when
he's well
it
known
gets
that he
done.
Does good work.
Pardon me?
He is very well known. And he does good work.
Okay. Make sure he uses the right sealer.
I'll make a motion to approve. Low bidder. Mr. White. I'll second it. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that carries. New business. I'd like to have our planning board begin an update to the town of Canada's comprehensive plan. The last one was submitted to the town board in 2011. And by 2015, the town board had approved. So if we start now. I was on the planning board, so that's why I said that. Sorry, John.
Are you looking at anything particular to upgrade?
Well, yes, a lot of new things have come about and it takes a while to survey the community. And I couldn't see us adopting a new plan. If we got a new plan done in 4 years, I'd be shocked. I'd be surprised and delighted. We do have some new things. We didn't have a water district done. We need to think about long-term addressing expansion of the sewer district. I think Richmond and Canadice need to look at that. The health of the lake is important and the sewer district's part of it. And we got to think 10, 20, 30 years ahead. What's our vision? That's my part of it. Comments? Thoughts? We have a lot of people here today. Yes.
Jerry and I have been told that any expansion of how much water the sewer plant can take,
Correct. It's undersized. Correct.
no. They have expanded it some, but the DEC will not include the expansion until they get the stormwater inflow fixed.
So the problem is much more fundamental than expansion. The existing sewer system, I already said, was put in around 1980,
Right. Right.
43 years ago. The existing sewer pipes that you're connected to, we're connected to, leak.
Oh, yeah, they're brittle.
Stormwater infiltrates them.
Mhm.
So what really needs to happen is a major redo of the whole system,
Yes.
not just extending it,
Correct.
a redo of what exists and extending it.
I second that motion.
Yeah, well,
About the
it's no small thing,
That's fine.
tens of millions of dollars.
I am having issues with residents with drainage also, and it's
Oh,
not just, it's not just townwide, it's countywide too.
Absolutely.
You know, the county's breaking
Yeah.
their own codes and laws.
Absolutely.
when it comes to drainage, so.
So, and comprehensive plans are part of that, in my opinion. Ted?
I just have a few questions.
Sure.
Are you gonna give us a budget for this? Separate budget, we'll need that. We talked about, we need some sort of communication system. Anybody has a way, you know, first need will be to advertise to the residents that we're looking for volunteers. To
Correct.
serve on the research committee. We don't really have a good communication system in town. We may need to put some placards out or something to.
Sure, we might do a
So
postcard.
we,
Kate?
so I'm looking at some budget items like that,
Sure.
and what about involving county planning
Mhm.
for assistance in this? We also have Genesee Regional Planning, Genesee Finger Lakes Regional.
I think they're
Planning,
fantastic and their services are free.
And
Did I mention their services are free?
we got a notice from actually Capital District Planning that's looking to give up some assistance.
Yes,
So
I got that email as well.
we can expand that, but I
Yep.
think the biggest thing we need right away is some sort of a budget that we work on. Particularly survey, data analysis,
Yep.
I'm not sure how we're gonna come up with an estimate of the cost of that,
Did you have a budget the last time?
yes.
So we should take that and multiply it by 4 to start with. Okay,
The
Okay.
survey was probably the largest survey and the data analysis. of
We did
that,
Survey
right?
Monkey going way
Was,
back, but that's still
yeah,
in
it was-
existence.
Probably the largest expense,
right.
but those are some things,
We didn't have
We do
QR
have-
codes then either. We didn't have the. They would do it on their phone.
We do have a volunteer to lead it, one of our planning board members, Caitlin Kumsky.
Halen, I've already had discussions about this, so yes, you definitely want to step up
With these,
with Caitlin. Caitlin, yep.
so we have someone that's stepped up to be the leader of that research group that's going to do this work, so.
The biggest
So
thing
those
is
are some things we have to think about.
Yep.
You know.
we
right
do
along.
need citizens though. We do need citizens to participate in that. Thank you. Good. So I'm making a motion for us to begin our next comprehensive plan.
I'll second it.
Those in favor?
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Okay, that carries. Thank you. I've been saying I was gonna do it for a long time and there it is. Annual mowing contract, Ontario County.
One more thing, Ted, if you want to get the language to me that you want, I can put it in the 2 penny savers. I'm gonna have to send some legal notices for the, RFP for the parking lot and for the, water quality report.
Okay, maybe a little premature, but we're gonna have to get together with Caitlin and perhaps Christopher. Or something, when we get something, yes, we would love to have you do that for us. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
sorry, back to the
Motion-
mowing.
Motion to approve mowing contract, Ontario County.
I move.
Second, Terry.
Those in favor?
I,
Aye, that carries. Bid list sending out a authorization to solicit proposals for our new parking lot. Repair and resurfacing. Is there a motion?
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Kate second, Terry moved, those in favor?
Aye.
I,
Okay. Approval of the bills. Is there a motion?
I'll move it.
Terry seconds.
Terry second, those in favor?
Aye.
And that carries. Wow, privilege of the floor. I got another hour. This is great.
Do you want to jump over to the resolution that was on the addendum?
I could, I was gonna do privilege of the floor next, but I could. Okay, so, since we're going off the top of the addendum. Ontario County, rather, we sold out of our compost bins. Last year, it took a while. We had to keep getting residents. Emails and so forth, and we sold out. We ordered more. So if anyone would like those compost bins, you can contact myself or Ontario County Sustainability for $25, and they're supplemented by our tax dollars. So that's a win. The mattress recycle events on June 3rd. If you see mattresses lying around town looking ugly, let people know. All they got to do is bring them to the event in Farmington on June 3rd. I gave you the DMV hours update, which starts next Monday. Got a senior citizens thank you letter. We did already talk about the AWQR from City of Rochester for water resolution to execute 3-year contract with Poop Man Septic and Jetter Service. That's a 3-year contract. It's a renewal. The reason I did that late is it expired the day after our next meeting and it did not want us to go without service. Move to approve. Second. I'll move it.
I'll second the move.
Those in favor?
I,
Okay. And I did mention the Ontario County Recycle event on May 20th. I've registered. I will bring everything over on the 20th. So got something with that, let me know. And another big one. We're using Williamson Law Book. And it's a prehistoric software that looks like a DOS-based system to me. We've got a clear government Zoom set up. You don't even have to come to town hall 3:30 to 4 o'clock if you want to get an overview on what that one solution might be to upgrade. At least start taking a look at modernizing our software.
along with that, we should also be thinking about um, the equipment that we're using so that we're a bit more mobile. You know, because if we get something that's cloud-based, you still can't get to it if your computer's sitting here. And it would go right into the disaster recovery
Right.
plan that we're
So
also
we've got that,
working on.
we've got that plan in place slowly, but yes. I don't see us doing anything that fast, but yes, that's certainly part of the picture, the hardware and software together, for
Okay.
sure. And what she means is. For better or worse, this allows me to do town business wherever I am. It's awesome. So I can get my town. Email coming. And it's in case something happens, can't get up the hill. Jeremy, I'm stuck. I'm halfway up the hill. Can you salt it again? I know we're running low on salt. So I'm working there waiting. He came by.
Oh.
It got done. So yes, good point.
Is the Zoom on the website?
I emailed the link.
Oh, okay.
He confirmed today. So.
No, it wouldn't be, on the website, no.
Okay,
Oh, no, on our website? Oh, no,
okay,
no, it'd be through email.
thank you.
So, yeah. So I misunderstood the question.
And just FYI, not that it was necessary, but the cloud-based program that the tax collectors are using now, I can log in from home
Mhm.
if everything blew up here. So I could still take your taxes.
Excellent. Could I get a fishing license if I called you?
I don't have, yeah, technically you could, because you don't have to have the little paper copy with you once it's logged into their system online.
Nice. These are good, kind of like the old days. When the
Yeah.
clerk didn't come to town hall. Back to the future. Okay, wow, it's meeting went fast. I was resisting doing the addendum. Any privilege of the floor?
Yes.
Go ahead, Nine.
I got an email from Superior saying that they're renewing my propane contract. So I didn't know if you had received anything, Christopher, from them, because I would assume the town has to renew. Otherwise, we
Yeah.
won't get a discounted amount either.
Right.
So what normally happens is in June. Because they don't have their new rates yet. Krista and I reach out to them. Because everybody should be getting their letters right now that it's, $95 to lock in. And I think it went up to $289, if I remember correctly, because we got our.
$299,
$299.
$290, and it's $39 to lock in.
Well, mine says 95, so you must be special.
I must be.
Yeah.
I didn't get a letter.
So anyways, I think the bigger question, oh, you will. Because you're on a special list. The bigger question is, with us not using propane here at the town hall. What would you like us to do in terms of bidding out the service for highway and for the water district?
Not that it would be a lot, but the court still uses it, don't they?
Is there a smidge of propane use? Okay. I thought that was all. Baseboard.
Yeah, propane that runs in there, whether they use it in,
Thought there was wall heaters. I thought there were something else.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check. Okay, but it's still hooked up. Okay. Okay, I should check and find out for what. Anyways, what would you like us to do?
Get cheaper than $2.99.
Yeah, I know. No,
They're not required to come in with a state bid.
no.
Do the best we can.
Do you want Krista and I to call? It'd be Norco, right? It'd be Norco. Cause they bought Kirkwood,
Suburban propane.
Suburban, Superior. Who's the other one? Is Valley still around?
Valley's very good. Valley's very good.
Okay, okay. So
Griffith
would you
out of
like some
Danson.
bids presented to the board?
Yeah, 3 or 4, yes.
Okay.
And it's easy to do.
Okay,
Valley's pretty responsive and they're close by too.
okay. Let me talk to Krista.
Is
supplier for diesel and gasoline.
I saw that.
Oh, that's good.
That might help. That might help us.
They might leverage something there, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the,
Yeah, they would definitely like the chance to be in on that.
no co,
I thought so.
okay,
Keep on.
okay. Do you want me to take an action item to
Please,
get with Krista?
for sure.
Okay. Okay,
That's something she couldn't do herself, or you just make sure it gets done.
I've done it in the past. I did not know, is she caught up? Cause I've been waiting to get with her on disaster recovery until you gave me the,
Maybe,
okay.
Yeah.
Let me know.
yeah, no, yeah. You could help take command. It shouldn't be that hard to reach out to 4 companies.
Understood.
Yeah.
And then, so you had a privilege of the floor.
Okay, Memorial Day services,
Oh, yes.
9 o'clock will be a short service in Bristol. At 9:30, we'll have a parade and service in Hemlock. At 10:30 will be a short service in Canada's, and 11 o'clock will be a parade and long service in Honeyland.
Same time.
Do
as
they
last-
do they normally have a small parade in Hemlock, John?
Always, yes.
Okay,
Same times as last year.
Yep.
Good, that helps.
Been the same thing for the last 40 years, 50 years that I've known it.
I'm just hoping it's cooler. It was really hot last year.
And so,
And a second item under privilege of the floor, I noticed that in last month's minutes, the discussion was made that the Ford Maverick pickup truck was not available. And there was the discussion on electric vehicles. And the fact that electric vehicle is twice as expensive as a gas vehicle. One thing I'd like to remind the board is that you will never see the trade-in value of that electric vehicle is non-existent. If I can prove my point, I'll ask you to go to any car dealership in the area and see if you can buy a used electric vehicle. It's not gonna happen.
Car dealers won't take them back to the lot.
They dispose of them. I mean, nobody in their right mind is gonna buy a used electric vehicle, and if the town were to go down that road and purchase one, you're gonna have no resale value.
I'm not aware of it.
Just go to Canandaigua next trip out there to the town board meeting. Stop by some dealerships, see if you can buy a used electric vehicle.
Interesting. Anybody got any feedback on that? That's just news to me. You would know.
That's all I got in privilege.
so, I had one, the, clean energy community program.
Mr. Richardson?
Yes.
Yes.
We were going to ask if we wanted to append that to a board meeting.
Oh, right, I haven't. So basically, I think we'd want to meet with them first so they could have an organized presentation for that. Just so we could see what our points are, so maybe we could do a Zoom or something, just preliminary, but what we did in Richmond is, there was a presentation, but there were 2 people involved, and it was a very much they've been working together for quite a while, so it's they're gonna require some data from us, and then they can apply some clean energy credits for us. That'll help us out with grants. So our new HVA system is one of them, and there might be some other things we've already done that would qualify. And certainly going forward, let's look for opportunities for highway and from our buildings and grounds here where we can get those clean energy credits. And electric vehicle.
Okay, so, do you want a preliminary meeting set up?
Yeah,
Okay, and then are we gonna target a board meeting? This Rob Richardson that I've talked to, he's like, ready to swoop in here,
yeah,
so. Okay,
let's just let's communicate and see when we can get it done. We can get something on the agenda if we're ready. I just don't want to have a half hour blocked in and we're not ready.
Okay, okay,
I want to be organized.
okay.
Thank you.
Alright, yep.
And does everyone know he's getting another award? Do you know you're getting an award?
I've been informed, I've been nominated, I'm not getting,
Okay.
I've been nominated.
Okay.
You have two residents in town of Canada who have been nominated for Senior Citizen of the Year award.
Pretty prestigious honor.
Congratulations.
So I've been nominated, I'm not,
Thank you for your service. To be nominated,
Hey, that's great.
it's like going to the Olympics. You went to the Olympics. You're
Yeah.
going to the Olympics. You're going to the big town.
I'll get a participation award.
There you go. You're gonna get some nice Danish and the food will be great. And if you have something you want me to say, you might want to tell me ahead of time. Otherwise, you never know what's gonna happen.
John, there's history here. Next thing on the agenda is you.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, not yet. Wait. No. There was something I was gonna mention.
I second.
No,
You've got
Me
the
off.
chair, so you can.
I did email Ted. I don't know if you saw the email. So we need a representative from the town. If possible, to go Wednesday to Geneva, and it's a housing survey. I've been involved with the studies and they've interviewed me and they know how I feel. And concerned residents, but someone from the ZBA or planning board wants to attend. We'll pay the mileage out there. And it's still open to the town board. I emailed you last week. So the information's out there, pass it on.
I forwarded your email to the planning board. It's pretty short notice. It's tomorrow.
Yep. Wednesday. Okay, yeah.
I told them that would be eligible for training hours also.
Oh, that's smart.
Well, they might get somebody to go.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little carrot.
Yeah, okay, but it actually be good. It's good to network because you never know who's gonna be, I serve on some boards and some boards I'm on, there's town board members, there's planning boards and there's supervisors and DEC people. You just never know who's on the board. So thank you. Motion to adjourn accepted. Those in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you. Almost forgot. That was a short meeting.